All right, let's get into it. Today, we're breaking down the entire Mercedes-Benz lineup. We're going to climb all 7 levels of the ladder, from the entry-level cars all the way up to the final bosses, to figure out where the real Mercedes experience actually begins and where you get the most for your money. You see that 3-pointed star, and you know exactly what it means, right? It's one of the biggest status symbols in the world. But here's the thing, not all of them are created equal. So let's dive into this ladder of luxury and performance and find out which one is the real deal. So we're going to start at the very bottom, level 1. The source we're looking at calls this the trap, and it's basically where Mercedes tries to get you in the door with that shiny badge. And look, these cars absolutely look the part. You get the huge screens, the super cool turbine vents, and that iconic star right on the grille. But what you might not realize is that while it looks and feels like a Mercedes on the inside, the whole car is built on what is, well, fundamentally an economy car platform. Okay, and this is where it gets really wild. For what is honestly a pretty small jump in price, you get a massive leap in quality. Moving from level 1 to level 2 isn't just a little upgrade, it's a completely different car. You're going from a front-wheel drive platform with a bumpy ride and a lot of road noise to the real thing, a proper rear-wheel drive Mercedes with that smooth, refined suspension. And this just nails the financial reality of it. A $43,000 level 1 car could be worth just $25,000 3 years later. You're paying a huge premium for the badge, and just like this slide says, that value disappears fast. All right, so let's climb up to level 2. This is where you stop just renting the badge, and you start actually owning the real Mercedes experience. Yeah, this is it. This is the moment where you go, aha, this is what everyone's talking about. With that proper rear-wheel drive platform, the balance and the smoothness on the highway, it just makes those level 1 cars feel like, well, like rental cars. And honestly, for most people, like 80% of us, this is where you should probably just stop shopping. Seriously, the C-Class and GLC at level 2 are the absolute sweet spot. You get the real deal Mercedes experience before the prices start getting into that "are you kidding me" territory. This is it. This is the peak of smart luxury. Okay, now we're climbing high. We're at level 4, the traditional peak of the mountain. This is the flagship, the legend that's defined Mercedes for decades, the S-Class. But this is where the math gets kind of funny. Look, the S-Class is incredible, there's no doubt. But you're paying literally double the price of a great E-Class for what feels like maybe a 20% improvement. This isn't about value for money anymore. It's about making a statement of pure, ultimate comfort. And this quote really says it all. You have to understand, the S-Class is designed from the back seat forward. With its reclining seats and insane legroom, its whole mission is to make the passenger feel amazing. It's not really built to thrill the driver. But what if getting a massage in the back seat sounds, kind of boring? What if you'd rather get thrown back in your seat by just raw, brutal power? Well, for that, we have to take a little detour over to the other side of the family, AMG. Just look at that number, 671 horsepower. And get this, from a 4-cylinder engine. That one stat tells you everything you need to know about the AMG mindset. It's a complete shift from quiet comfort to just crazy performance. Yeah, AMG is a totally different beast. They're like the wild cousins of the Mercedes family. They take these perfectly calm, civilized cars and just inject them with pure aggression, sound, and speed. And every engine is hand-built by one person who then signs it. It's awesome. This table just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? It's the two extremes of that Mercedes star. The S-Class is about looking cool, calm, and collected when you pull up. The AMG, well, the AMG is about making so much noise when you leave that the neighbors are probably calling the cops. Okay, so now we're going completely off the ladder. Let's talk about the icons, the cars that exist in their own weird, wonderful universe, starting with this absolute legend. I mean, has a car ever been described more perfectly? A personality disorder with off-road capability. The G-Wagon makes zero logical sense as a daily driver, and that is exactly why it's the ultimate status symbol. Just look at this list. It's like a why you should never buy this car checklist. It weighs a ton, gets horrible gas mileage, and turns like a boat. Yet people will fight each other to pay over sticker for one. Why? Because that trademark door thunk sound says everything. It says, I could have bought anything, and I chose this.
And then you reach the final level, the final boss. At this point, you're not even talking about cars anymore. You're talking about assets. Cars like the Maybach and the insane AMG 1 are basically investments that live in perfect, climate-controlled garages. Their job isn't to be driven, it's to flex on other millionaires. Okay, so we've climbed this whole crazy ladder. What's the real takeaway here? What's the cheat code for someone who just wants a great Mercedes without all the noise? It really comes down to this simple path. You start with the C-Class to get that true Mercedes feel. Then, when life changes and you need more space or comfort, you move up to the E-Class. And finally, when you've really made it, when you have something big to celebrate, that's when you get the S-Class.
And I think this just brings it all home, doesn't it? At the end of the day, forget the levels, forget the status. The best car is the one you actually love to drive. Every single day. Anything else is just an expensive lawn ornament. And that's really the question it leaves us with, isn't it? Are you the composed executive or are you the neighborhood menace? It's two totally different philosophies under the same star. One is about arriving in total comfort. The other is about leaving in a massive hurry. So which star would you follow?